Alright, let's get our case assembled. We're going to start with our low and reverse piston. Install our new lathe cut seals. Lubricated. Alright, let's install it. Alright, let's install our low and reverse piston into our case. We have a notch that indexes with a notch in the bottom of the case. So what I do, I'll set my piston in, and then I'll rotate it until it falls in, and I'll wiggle it back and forth, and I know for sure that it's lined up with that notch. I usually use a larger screwdriver, but for right now we're just going to take our output shaft and knock it in. It's cold, so it don't want to go. Let me get a dead roll. Sorry, I got a piece of debris. It's going. Hear the tone change. Alright, we are all the way down. Got our spring cage and snap ring. Alright, get our spring compressor. My hands are going to be all in the way in just a second. The spring's trying to go into the snap ring groove, so I'm going to use my screwdriver to hold it back out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to take our snap ring. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to use my screwdriver to make sure it's seated, and we're good. So let's pull our spring compressor. Alright. Alright. Next thing go in is our ring gear. I'm going to take assembly lube, put a little on the bearing just so it sticks. Drop it in the case. Our planetary. I'm going to go ahead and put a little transmission plug on the pinions. I'm going to do the same thing with its bearing. And this assembly lube it's specifically designed for transmissions. It's really thick right now because it's cold, but as soon as this thing starts and it heats up, this melts at a really low temperature. Alright. Now let me grab these are our low and reverse clutches. We got a wavy, and they all have this notch. So the notch goes to the bottom, to the left. Did I not both these? I don't care. They're going in. I'm going to throw these in dry. Frictions. Alright, this is a case silencer or anti-clunk spring. And now our center support goes in with our low roller clutch. Just do that backwards. It's an early model, damn it. Hold on a second. Alright. Our center support and low roller clutch. Get in there. Okay. Take my screwdriver and just make sure it's seated all the way. Grab a snap ring. Okay, this is our snap ring that retains it. And you got to pay attention where you put this opening, because if you put this opening on this side of this anti-clunk spring, the first time you put this vehicle in reverse, this will pop it up out of its snap ring groove. where I place it, and it moved on me. See if I can get it to walk without having to actually pull it all the way out. You sucker. It's going. Alright, good enough. Alright. Sun gear. We got a plastic thrust washer. That goes there. Now our drive show. Alright. And our 4-tab washer, thrust washer. Then our forward reaction lamp gear and planetary. This case up here. Alright. Let's get our output shaft installed. This is it's 2-wheel drive. I'm probably going to have to put a 2x4 under. Yep, sure am. Alright, let's get our output shaft installed. Dead blow. This one's tight. Okay. Snap ring that retains it. In the snap ring, when you install it, the ends are they're cut at an angle. And the reason for that is so when you go to remove it, you can get a hold of it. If you install it the other way, it is a pain to get out of there. Alright, that's me. Yep, that works. Alright, let's set our drums in here. Actually, let me... I'm going to put the parking mechanism back together. Why are you trying to be a pain? You sucker. Can you do me a favor? Can you hold that? You can do it right here. Just hold it up for a second. There we go. Just get started. Fine. It's good. Alright. Set our drums in here. Hold on. I want to show something. Alright, on early model 4L60Es like this one, this sun gear is not captive in the forward sprag. So make sure you put it in there. Now the sprag in this was bad, but this one is captive into that forward sprag. Yeah, I've done it, and it sucks to get it in the vehicle. Go. Alright. Our band is next. Need that and the anchor. Yeah, I should have soaked this, but okay. Smash a finger. You sucker. Yeah. Dude, it's because that camera's on, I swear. There we go. Good job. A golden star for me. Alright. Try that one more time. There we go. Our band anchor's in. I'm going to reach through the servo bore. I'm going to shove on the band on this side. Make sure everything's moving freely. We are good. So we can now pop our pump in. Alright. Let's lubricate. Where our pump's going to go. I'm moving this thing. Yeah, I do this so that gasket will kind of stick in place. And it actually makes it easier to get that gasket out of here for the next guy that has to rebuild it. My pump gasket. Right. Why am I feeling slow today? There's that. Same thing, we'll lubricate the pump O-ring. Alright, I'm going to take my pick and I'm going to make sure these sealing rings are as centered on the shaft as possible. Actually, they're pretty good. Alright. Go. Yeah, I like to knock my pump down like that instead of using the bolts to draw it in. Because you use the bolts to draw it in, you'll get it cocked sideways and you'll cut a sealing ring. I gotta put O-rings on these, but let me get a couple in here so I can straighten it. Hit pause for a second. Alright, let's get our pump bolt O-rings installed. I just lubricate them with a little ATF. Make sure they're in their groove. And install them.